Alright, boys and girls, so today I'm going to show you how to add fractions with uncommon denominators. And I'm just going to, I know in class we talked about 3 strategies. I'm just going to show you the best strategy, okay, that we've talked about in class. The one that's going to most likely, most of the time, get you the best denominator, okay? So 2/5 plus 1/4 is going to be my first example here. So if I look at these fractions, I know I can't add them, okay? 2/5 plus 1/4 have uncommon denominators. So I need to make common denominators. So I need to find a common denominator between 5 and 4. And one thing in the class that we talked about was trying to find a common multiple between our denominators of 5 and 4, okay? And to just first ask yourself, is one denominator a multiple of the other? So if I take 5, 5 is not a multiple of 4, okay? So I'm just going to list multiples of 5 to see if I can find a common multiple. So 5, again, we know 5 is not a multiple of 4. My next multiple of 5 would be 10. Our brains need to stop. Is 10 a multiple of 4? Nope. Keep going. 15. Stop. Is 15 a multiple of 4? Well, I can't multiply 4 by anything to get 15, so I need to keep going. 20 is my next multiple of 5. Stop. Is 20 a multiple of 4? Yeah, I can multiply 4 times 5 to get 20, okay? So 20 is going to be my best common denominator to use. So to show that, I need to make 2/5 into 20ths. Well, to get 20ths, I need to multiply my 5 by 4, and if I multiply my denominator by 4, I must also multiply my numerator by 4 to change that fraction to 20ths. So I'm going to do 2/5 times 4/4, which equals 8/20. And again, this works because 4/4 is really just one whole, okay? So really, I didn't change the value of that fraction at all. So 2/5 times 4/4 equals 8/20, okay? 1/4, I need to also change that to 20ths. Well, 4 times, I need to multiply that 4 times 5. So if I multiply my denominator by 5, I must also multiply my numerator by 5, or 5/5, which is equivalent to 1 whole. So really, I'm just multiplying by 1 whole. So 1/4 times 5/5, okay, well, 1 times 5 is 5, and 4 times 5 is 20. So now I can do 8/20 plus 5/20 and get 13/20. Okay? So that is one way that we can add our fractions with uncommon denominators, is by listing multiples to finally get a common multiple between the two denominators. Okay? Let's do another example. Okay? Let's do 3/4. Sorry about Harper in the background crying there. Plus 5/8. Okay, again, let's think about what I want you to do. I want you to first just look at your denominators and compare them. And think, is one denominator a multiple of the other? So I have 8 and I have 4. Yeah, 8 is a multiple of 4. So this one, I don't even need to list anything. I can change 3/4 to 8ths. And to do that, I need to multiply my denominator by 2. So if I multiply my denominator by 2, I must also multiply my numerator by 2 to get an equivalent fraction. So 3/4 times 2/2 is 6/8. I'm just going to bring my 5/8 over here so it's a little easier to look at when I add these. So now I can add 6/8 plus 5/8 and get 11/8. Now if I look at 11/8, that's an improper fraction, so I'm going to want to make that a mixed number. So I know 11/8 is the same as 1 and 3/8, because 8 can go in 11 one time and I have 3/8 left over. So the best answer for this one is 1 and 3/8. Okay? So this one I didn't need to list multiples for. Let me do another example. Okay, let's do 6 3/4. This is a good one. 6 3/4 plus 1/6. So again, before I start to add anything, I need to look at my denominators. I do not have any common denominators here. So I need to think, first my mind needs to go, is one denominator a multiple of the other? Well, 6 is not a multiple of 4. Okay, I can't multiply 4 by anything and get 6. But I'm just going to list multiples of 6. I usually take that larger number, okay, and list multiples of that. So 6, again, 6 is not a multiple of 4. 12. Let's think. Brain stop. Is 12 a multiple of 4? Yeah, 12 is a multiple of 4, so I can actually use 12 as my common denominator here. So if I'm going to change 3/4 to 12ths, I know 3 times 4 is 12, so I need to multiply 3/4 by 3/3. Okay, and 3/4 times 3/3 would be 9/12. Can't forget about my whole number over here, so that's going to be 6 and 9/12. And then 1/6, I need to multiply 1/6 by 2/2 because 6 times 2 is 12, and then whatever you do to your denominator, you must also do to your numerator. So 1/6 times 2/2 would be 2/12. Now I can add. 9/12 plus 2/12 would be 11/12. And 6 plus 0 would be 6. So my answer here would be 6 and 11/12. Okay? Let's do one more example. I'm going to do 7/8 plus 1/6. Okay, so for 7/8 plus 1/6, again, think and compare your denominators. I have 8 and I have a 6. Is 8 a multiple of 6? No. So I'm going to list multiples of 8. So I have 8. My next one would be 16. Stop. Is 16 a multiple of 6? Nope. So I need to list another multiple of 8. 24 would be my next multiple of 8. So is 24 a multiple of 8 and 6? Yeah, it is. Okay. I can multiply 7/8 by 3/3 to get 24 because 8 times 3 is 24 and get 21 24ths. And I can multiply 1/6. 6 times 4 is 24, so I can multiply 1/6 by 4/4 and get 4 24ths. And now I can add. 21 24ths plus 4 24ths would be 25 24ths. And since I have an improper fraction, I'm going to make that a mixed number. So 25 24ths or 1 and 1 24th. Okay? So that's just a little quick review on how to find common denominators in order to add fractions.